Alright, today I'm going to be showing y'all how to turn a regular bowl out of this piece of figured maple, starting with finding the center to mount the faceplate. So the first thing I do, I like to look at the figure on both sides and pick which side would look better on, for the bottom, for the outside, you can see more of it. I'm going to go with this side as the bottom, which means the faceplate's going to attach here. So I'm going to use my center finder. Basically, I'm going to just line this up at the corners here, and I'm going to draw a line. I'll move it around. So that's about the area where I want the center of my faceplate to mount. So I'm going to drill that in. At this point, now I can mount this to the lathe. Alright, so we're ready to mount the faceplate onto the lathe. So first things first, the lathe is always off before I mount the faceplate to the spindle. I'm going to make sure that the two set screws on either side are all the way out, because you don't want to tear up these spindle threads. So now I'm going to spin it on. Now both of those are tight. We can start turning. All right, with the banjo in place, we're gonna do a quick spin of the wood to make sure we're not hitting anything. Good, lock everything in. Face shield down, and then let's start. So I'm gonna start off probably around 500 RPM, maybe 600 for this one, just to get it rough turned and perfectly round. I like to start with the face of the bowl. I just flattened the bottom of the bowl. So that that's running true and perfectly flat, so that I can start my contour up the rest of the bowl. I'm going to go ahead and reset where the banjo placement is. Make sure we're locked in. Where we're at right now. So obviously the bottom is not perfectly round yet, that's fine. Need to be a little bit above center. I wasn't riding the bevel quite as well as I wanted to that one. I'm going to reset, test spin, go again. I'm going to actually increase the RPM a little bit. Keep a little bit of the depth, or as much of the depth that I can, but you want it to look good. I personally don't like the way bottom, like square bottom bowls look, so I'm going to go ahead and use my rounded tool rest. And all this does, it gives you a little bit of an easier contour to get that round shape that you want with a bowl. so now that the outside of the bowl is formed, I'm going to shape the mortise. This is my tool of choice. This is the Technic tool Nova dovetail chisel. I think I got it for 40 bucks at Woodcraft. It's set to the perfect angle of the inside dovetail for the Nova G3, and pretty much all the Nova chucks, so it's set to that perfect dovetail angle. Basically what we're going to do, I'm going to use my center finding jig, which also has a mortise measurement. So I like to use the 50mm mortise for most of these smaller bowls. So what I'm going to do, with the lathe off, I'm going to mark the center at the bottom of the bowl with the pencil. And then I'm going to use the center finding jig at the 50mm mark and mark where that is. So here, I'm going to do a rotation there. I usually like to go a little bit inside of what that measurement is, just so I leave some room for error, because you don't want the mortise to be too big. You want it just snug enough that the jaws can expand, but you don't want them to expand too far. Otherwise, it's going to compromise the hold. So now we're going to make sure that we're right on center. So where the tool rest is at, you want to make sure that this tool is sitting exactly center of where that mortise is going to start cutting. Otherwise, it's going to pull too much one way and you're going to get a lot of tear out. Alright, so now that we're set up, I'm going to turn on the lathe and we'll make our first cuts. So now it fits in. It's loose enough that I can wiggle the jaws, but when I tighten it, I get a full rotation on the jaws. Those aren't going anywhere. So now it's a nice snug fit. I'm not going to get any vibration when I turn it around the hollow. So now that we've dry fit it, now I go through, the sand, finish, flip it, hollow it, and then that's a done bowl.